My neighbor made $5,000 off me. How? He found my missing dog. I spent a week searching for Copper. I cried. The neighborhood searched. I put up posters everywhere. Then Orange showed up. I saw him at the park. Here he is. I was so relieved. I handed him that $5,000 immediately. I thanked him. I hugged him. 2 months later, I ran into his ex-girlfriend at a coffee shop. She said one sentence that changed everything. I ran home. I pulled up my security camera footage. What I saw changed my life forever. Copper had never been lost. My name is Silas Donovan. I'm 36 years old, a veterinarian in Asheville, North Carolina. I've spent my entire adult life caring for animals, healing them, protecting them. I never imagined I'd fail to protect my own dog from the person living 3 houses down. This is the story of how my neighbor Oren stole my dog, held him for a week, then collected a $5,000 reward for finding him, and how a single sentence from a stranger made me realize the truth. Copper is a 5-year-old golden retriever. I adopted him as a puppy from a local shelter where I volunteer. He's loyal, gentle, great with kids. The kind of dog people stop you on the street to pet. After my wife Lauren died 3 years ago in a car accident, Copper became more than just a pet. He was the reason I got out of bed on the hardest days. The presence that filled the silence in our house. I work long hours at the veterinary clinic. Copper comes with me most days. The staff loves him. Clients' kids play with him in the waiting room while their own pets are being treated. At home, Copper has his routine. Morning walk around the neighborhood. Backyard time in the afternoon. Evening walk before bed. Our backyard is fenced, 6 feet tall. Solid wood. The gate has a latch that Copper can't open. It's secure. I've never worried about him getting out. My neighbor Oren Patterson lives 3 houses down. He's 41, works from home doing something with computers. We're friendly in that casual neighbor way. Wave when we see each other. Small talk about the weather. Oren's been in the neighborhood for about 2 years. Seems nice enough. A little awkward socially, but harmless. He's mentioned several times that he likes Copper. Great dog, he'd say whenever he saw us on walk. I've been thinking about getting one myself. I never thought anything of it. It was a Tuesday afternoon in late March. I came home from work around 6 p.m. I opened the back door to let Copper out like always. He didn't come running. I called his name. Nothing. I walked into the backyard, empty. My heart started pounding. I checked the gate. It was open. Not just unlatched. Wide open. I never leave that gate open. Never. I ran out into the alley behind our houses, calling Copper's name. Checked the front yard, the street, nothing. I got in my car and drove around the neighborhood. Windows down, calling for him. An hour passed, then 2. By 9 p.m., I was frantic. I called the local animal shelters. No golden retrievers brought in today? I posted on neighborhood Facebook groups, next door, everywhere. That night, I didn't sleep. I kept thinking about Copper alone somewhere. Scared. Looking for me. Wednesday morning, I took the day off work. I printed 200 flyers with Copper's photo and my phone number. In big red letters, Lost Dog. Reward, $5,000. $5,000 was every bit of savings I had left after Lauren's medical bills and funeral expenses, but I didn't care. I'd pay anything to get Copper back. I posted flyers on every telephone pole, community board, and store window within a 2-mile radius. Neighbors I barely knew joined the search. Mrs. Chen from 2 streets over organized a group to canvass the area. The teenager next door, Tyler, rode his bike around for hours looking. Even Oren helped. He came by Wednesday evening. "Hey man, I saw the flyers," he said. "I'm really sorry about Copper. I'll keep an eye." "Thanks, Oren. I appreciate it. $5,000 is a lot," he said. "You must really love that dog. He's family." Oren nodded. "I get it. I'll search the parks tomorrow morning. Golden retrievers are friendly. Someone might have taken him in." I thanked him again. He seemed genuinely concerned. Thursday. Still nothing. I was getting calls from people who'd seen golden retrievers that weren't Copper. Each time my hopes rose, then crashed. Friday. Same. By Saturday, I was starting to lose hope. A week is a long time for a lost dog. Animal control said most dogs are found within 72 hours if they're going to be found at all. I couldn't eat, couldn't focus. The clinic kept calling asking when I'd be back. I told them I didn't know. Sunday afternoon, my phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Silas? This is Oren. I found Copper. My heart stopped. You found him? Orison Park. I was walking the trail, and there he was, just sitting by a bench. I called his name, and he came right to me. I have him at my house. Want to come get him? I was already grabbing my keys. 3 minutes later, I was at Oren's door. He opened it, and there was Copper, tail wagging, jumping up on me. I dropped to my knees and buried my face in his fur. I was crying. Copper was licking my face, whining with excitement. I can't believe you found him, I said, looking up at Oren. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm just glad I could help, Oren said, smiling. He seems fine. A little dirty, but okay. I checked Copper over. He did seem okay. Thinner, maybe. Definitely needed a bath. No injuries. The reward? I said, standing. I promised 5,000. Let me go get it. Oh, you don't have to. No, I insist. You found him. You saved me. I went home, grabbed my checkbook, came back, and wrote Oren a check for $5,000. He hesitated for just a second, then took it. Thank you, Silas. I'm really happy Copper's home safe. I shook his hand. I owe you everything. That night, Copper slept in my bed. I kept waking up just to make sure he was still there. I was so grateful. So relieved. Oren was a hero, or so I thought. 2 months passed. Life returned to normal. Copper was his usual happy self. I was back at work full-time. I'd see Oren occasionally. We'd wave. I'd thank him again. He'd smile and say it was no problem. In late May, I stopped at a coffee shop near my clinic on a Saturday morning. I was waiting for my order when a woman approached me. Excuse me, is your name Silas? I turned. She was maybe 30, blonde, looked familiar, but I couldn't place her. Yes, I'm Maeve. I used to date Oren Patterson. Your neighbor? Oh, right. Hi. I saw you at his house once when I was picking up some of my stuff after we broke up. You have that beautiful golden retriever, right? Yeah, Copper. I thought so. I saw Oren post about getting a dog recently. Looked just like yours. Said he adopted it. Weird, because when we were together, he said he was allergic. My stomach tightened. What did you say? He posted on Facebook that he got a dog, big golden retriever, but then the post disappeared. I thought maybe it didn't work out. She seemed to realize something was off. Is everything okay? I tried to keep my voice steady. When did he post that? Maybe 2 months ago? Early April? Early April, right after Copper went missing. Thanks, I managed. I have to go. I left my coffee on the counter and walked to my car in a daze. I sat in my car for 10 minutes, trying to make sense of what Maeve had said. Oren posted about getting a dog. In early April, a golden retriever that looked like Copper. Then the post disappeared. Then a week later, Oren found Copper and collected $5,000. Number. It couldn't be, but I couldn't shake the feeling. I drove home. Copper greeted me at the door, tail wagging. I scratched his head, told him I'd be right back, and went to my home office. I have security cameras, front door, back door, and one covering the backyard. I installed them after a series of break-ins in the neighborhood last year. I never thought to check the footage after Copper disappeared. Why would I? I assumed he'd gotten out through the gate somehow. But now, I pulled up the app on my computer. Scrolled back to March 26th, the day Copper went missing. Started the backyard camera footage at 3 p.m., a few hours before I got home. Normal. Copper lying in the sun, getting up to drink a water, lying back down. 4:30 p.m., still normal. 5 p.m., I fast-forwarded. 5:47 p.m., the back gate opened. A man walked in. Oren. I stopped the video. Rewound. Watched again. Oren opened my back gate and walked into my yard. In his hand was something, a bag of treats maybe. He called to Copper. I couldn't hear audio, but I could see Copper's reaction. Tail wagging, approaching Oren. Oren gave him treats, petted him, then walked toward the gate, calling Copper to follow. Copper followed him out of the yard. Oren closed the gate behind them. The timestamp, 5:52 p.m. I got home at 6 p.m. I watched the video 3 more times. There was no mistake. Oren didn't find Copper. Oren took Copper. I sat there staring at the screen, my mind racing. Oren had walked into my backyard and taken my dog. Then, a week later, he found him and collected $5,000. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was theft. Fraud. I grabbed my phone and called Maeve. She picked up on the 3rd ring. Maeve? It's Silas, the guy from the coffee shop. Hi. Is everything okay? I need to ask you something. You said Oren posted about getting a dog. Do you remember anything else? Details? She paused. He said something like, new addition to the family, or finally got a dog. The photo showed a golden retriever in what looked like a basement or garage. Concrete floor, I think. Why? Did he say where he got it? No, just that he adopted it. But like I said, the post disappeared pretty quickly. How quickly? Maybe a day? I thought it was strange at the time. A basement or garage. Concrete floor. Maeve, did Oren have a basement or garage at his place? Yeah, a detached garage. He used it as storage mostly. Why? What's going on? I think Oren took my dog and then pretended to find him. Silence. Oh my God. Are you serious? I have security footage. He walked into my yard and took Copper. That's insane. And illegal, I know. Did you ever see Copper at his house? When you were together? No, but I broke up with him in late March, right around when your dog went missing. Now that I think about it. Why did you break up? She hesitated. He was weird about money, always scheming for ways to make cash. He told me once he was good at finding opportunities. I thought he meant investments or something. But looking back, I don't know. Finding opportunity, a $5,000 reward for a lost dog. I needed to be smart about this. I couldn't just confront Oren. I needed evidence. I already had the security footage showing him taking Copper, but I needed more. I needed proof that he kept Copper for a week, and proof that he knew about the reward before he found him. I started by saving the security footage to multiple locations. Cloud storage, external drive. Sent it to my email. Then I dug into Oren's social media. His Facebook was mostly private, but I could see some public posts. I scrolled back to early April. Nothing about a dog, but there was a post from April 2nd, the day after Copper went missing. A check-in at Morrison Park. Great day for a walk. Morrison Park, where he claimed to have found Copper a week later. I kept scrolling. Found a neighborhood group post from March 27th, the day after Copper disappeared. Oren had shared my lost dog flyer with a comment, "Keep an eye out, everyone. Hope this pup gets home safe." He shared the flyer, the one that said, "Reward $5,000. He knew about the reward from day one. Monday morning, I called a lawyer, a guy named Marcus Webb who specialized in fraud cases. My clinic had used him once for a contract dispute. I met with him that afternoon. I showed him everything. The security footage, Maeve's statement about the Facebook post, Oren's social media activity, the timeline. Marcus watched the video 3 times. "This is theft," he said finally. "And fraud. He stole your dog, kept him for a week, then collected a reward under false pretenses. Can we prosecute? Absolutely. This is criminal. Theft, extortion, fraud. Take your pick. The DA would definitely take this case. What about the money? You can sue in civil court for return of the $5,000 plus damages. Emotional distress, vet bills if Copper had any issues, your time off work. You'd likely win. How long would that take? Months, maybe a year. But criminal charges move faster. If he's convicted, restitution would be part of sentencing. I nodded. Let's do both, criminal and civil. I'll draft everything. In the meantime, don't confront him. Don't tip him off. We want him to think everything's fine. That was the hardest part. Seeing Oren on the street, waving, acting normal. All while knowing what he'd done. Marcus filed a police report on my behalf. 2 days later, a detective named Sarah Ortiz called me. We met at my house. I showed her everything. "This is pretty clear cut," she said after watching the video. "He entered your property without permission, took your dog, held him for a week, then defrauded you. What happens now? We'll investigate. Interview the ex-girlfriend. Check if there's any history of similar behavior. Then we'll bring him in for questioning. Will you search his property? If we can get a warrant, yes. The garage especially, if that's where he kept the dog. How long will this take? Couple weeks, maybe. These things move slower than people think, but you have solid evidence. I'm confident we'll get him." I thanked her. For the next 2 weeks, I waited. Went to work. Took care of Copper. Avoided Oren as much as possible. On June 18th, Detective Ortiz called. "We executed a search warrant this morning. Found some interesting things." Detective Ortiz came by my house that evening to update me. "We searched Oren's garage," she said. "Found a dog crate, dog food, bowls, toys, all relatively new. Receipts dated late March. So he bought supplies for Copper." "Exactly. And here's the kicker. We found a printout of your lost dog flyer, with notes in the margin." "What kind of notes?" "Morrison Park, week out, call on Sunday." It's like he planned the whole thing. My hands clenched. He mapped it out. "There's more. We pulled his bank records with a subpoena. He deposited your $5,000 check on April 8th. That same week, he paid off 3 maxed-out credit cards. So he needed the money. Looks that way." We also talked to 2 other neighbors. One said Oren asked him how much he'd pay if his dog went missing. Another said Oren mentioned he was looking for a side hustle. This was premeditated. Completely. He saw your dog, saw an opportunity, and executed a plan. What happens now? We're arresting him tomorrow morning. Charges are theft, fraud, and extortion. The DA thinks it's a strong case. The next morning, I watched from my window as 2 police cars pulled up to Oren's house. Detective Ortiz and 2 uniformed officers walked to his door, knocked. Oren answered. I couldn't hear what was said, but I saw his face change. Confusion. They put him in handcuffs. He looked down the street as they walked him to the squad car. For a brief moment, his eyes met mine through my window. He knew. They put him in the back of the car and drove away. I stood there for a long time, processing what I'd just seen. Copper walked over and nudged my hand with his nose. I scratched his head. "It's over, buddy," I said. "He can't hurt you again." Oren's arraignment was 2 days later. He pleaded not guilty. His lawyer argued that the security footage was inconclusive, that Oren had simply found Copper at the park, as he'd claimed. But the DA presented the evidence. The supplies in the garage, the note on the flyer, the bank deposits, the neighbor statements. The judge set bail at $20,000. Oren couldn't post it. He stayed in jail. Over the next 3 months, the case built. Marcus filed the civil suit simultaneously, suing for return of the $5,000 plus $50,000 in damages. In September, Oren's lawyer approached us with a plea deal. He'll plead guilty to theft and fraud, Marcus told me. Sentencing recommendation is 18 months, plus full restitution of $5,000 and $15,000 in damages. 18 months feels light. It's a first offense, and honestly, taking it to trial could mean he gets less, or walks. This guarantees consequences. I thought about it. What do you recommend? Take the deal. Get your money back. Move on. I agreed. Oren pleaded guilty in October. The judge sentenced him to 18 months in county jail plus 3 years probation. Restitution totaling $20,000, payable immediately from the sale of his house. At the sentencing, the judge asked if I wanted to make a statement. I stood up. Your Honor, for a week I thought I'd never see my dog again. Copper isn't just a pet. He's family. After my wife died, he was the one constant in my life that kept me going. Oren knew that. He watched me put up flyers. He watched me cry. He watched the whole neighborhood search. And the entire time, he had Copper locked in his garage. He didn't steal my dog because he wanted a dog. He stole him because he wanted money. He let me suffer for a week. Let me spend every night wondering if Copper was hurt, or scared, or dead. Then he knocked on my door, handed me my own dog, and took $5,000 from me with a smile. That's not just theft, that's cruelty. I don't know if 18 months is enough, but I hope it's enough time for him to think about what he did and to never do it to anyone else. Thank you. I sat down. The courtroom was quiet. The judge looked at Orrin. Mr. Patterson, you exploited this man's love for his pet for financial gain. That is despicable. I hope you use your time in custody to reflect on your actions. Orrin said nothing. The judge banged the gavel. This court is adjourned. That was 8 months ago. Orrin served his sentence and was released last month. He moved out of state. I don't know where, and I don't care. The $20,000 restitution came through. I donated the entire amount to local animal shelters and lost pet recovery organizations. I didn't want the money. It never felt like mine. Copper is fine, healthy, happy, the same gentle dog he's always been. He still loves people, still trusts easily. Whatever Orrin did to him during that week, Copper seems to have forgotten. I wish I could say the same. I still think about it sometimes. How someone I waved to on the street, someone I trusted enough to thank and pay, was capable of something so calculated. Maeve, the ex-girlfriend who started this, reached out a few months ago. She apologized for not saying something sooner. I told her she had nothing to apologize for. She gave me the piece of information that led to justice. My neighbors still talk about it. The guy who stole the dog for the reward money. It's become a neighborhood legend. I've installed better locks on my gates now. Cameras with audio. I check the footage more often than I probably should. And I never leave Copper alone in the backyard anymore. He comes to work with me every single day. People ask if I regret posting the reward, if I'd do it differently. The answer is no. I would have paid 10 times that amount to get Copper back. The money was never the point. What I regret is trusting someone I shouldn't have. What I regret is not seeing the signs. But I learned something from all of this. Monsters don't always look like monsters. Sometimes they look like your neighbor. They smile and wave and offer to help. And then they take the thing you love most and charge you to get it back. Last week, I ran into Tyler, the teenager who helped search for Copper. He's in college now, home for the holidays. How's Copper doing? He asked. Good. Great, actually. I still can't believe what that guy did. It's like something out of a movie. Do you think he ever actually felt bad? I thought about the look on Orrin's face when he handed me Copper and took the check. The way he smiled and said, "I'm just glad I could help." No, I said. I don't think he did. Tyler nodded. At least Copper's safe now. Yeah, that's all that matters. And it is. Copper's safe. He's home. He's loved. Everything else, the money, the betrayal, the justice, it's all secondary to that. Orrin thought he was smart. He thought he'd found an easy way to make $5,000. What he didn't realize is that when you weaponize someone's love for their pet, when you exploit their grief and desperation, you don't just commit a crime, you reveal exactly who you are. And eventually, the world sees it too. I look at Copper now, asleep on the couch beside me, and I'm grateful. Grateful he's here. Grateful he's okay. Grateful that in the end, the truth came out. Some people will do anything for money, but I'd do anything for him. And that's the difference between me and Orrin. That's the difference that matters.